especially with me at the moment.
Your hair looks cute.
Thanks.
I like that color.
Thank you.
I just want to see that. Yeah. I know you're so profound. I don't want to miss something. You may, you know,
please.
hit us with something hot, and then I wouldn't get it, and stuff like that. What's up? What's up with this new album? Why are you so happy now?
I love the way you worded that. Why? You know, my life has just changed. See, I'm running a red light.
That's what I'm gonna start out. First thing.
She runs a red light. My life has just changed, and you know, you can either focus on the negative or the positive, and I've learned that. And having such great friends, and I feel true friends around me, they've helped me a great deal, and this is the space that I'm in. I mean, there's still things going on, but that's not the only thing that's happening in my life. And I'm focusing on the positive, and that's what this album is about. And I'm experiencing things I never experienced before, and I'm having a good time. I really am.
What are you experiencing that you've never experienced before?
I'm experiencing dating. I never did that before. And I truly feel like a kid again. Ooh, it's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, you know, growing up sheltered and being Jehovah's, well, my mother was Jehovah's Witness, so we went to the Kingdom Hall all the time. You're not supposed to think about any of that stuff unless you're thinking about getting married, so you don't do those things. So I mean, think about it. The two people that I really got involved with, I wound up marrying.
Yeah.
And there's only one other kid that I actually dated. We weren't supposed to be dating. He was a witness. And when we found out, we had to break up. That was actually my very first boyfriend.
Wow. Was that like, you know, it doesn't really matter. You talk about like how it doesn't matter what my family said, you know, what my family thinks and everything like that. Was that like a relationship you were in that people kind of didn't approve of, the first one? You know?
Well, because of the religion.
Right.
He was baptized. He was a lot older than me. I was only 15. And
how old was he?
He was 19.
That's not a lot.
Well, he was considered that he could have gotten in trouble for being with a minor.
Well, okay.
For one.
Yeah.
And then for two, he was, no, I'm not like 25 or nothing.
I thought you were going to say like 43. I was like,
no, nothing like that. But, and then also being a witness, and he was baptized, so we weren't supposed to be seeing each other really.
Right.
So.
What attracted you to him?
I thought he was 12. He looked like a baby. What attracted me to him? You know, I wasn't into boys. You get that point where you start looking at guys.
Right.
I hadn't started looking at guys yet. Everyone felt so badly about the way I treated him. From my mother to my brother. He was a friend of my brother's. And they was like, Jenny, give him a chance. He seems like a nice kid. And before I knew it, I'm kissing this kid. So that's how it all kind of started. Then I started liking him.
Do you remember your first kiss?
My first kiss was, like kiss or my just first kiss?
I mean, kiss.
My first kiss was with Todd when I did Different Strokes.
Oh, really? On the screen? Oh, that's right. You said that before.
Yeah, that was like my first kiss.
Did you like it so much that you quickly kind of, what'd you say?
With all the extra stuff in it.
What did you like? Was it kind of addictive? Were you like, oh, this is good. I need to go out and try this again?
Well, you know, I always had this thing for watching people kiss on television, even when I was a kid. And Randy used to always, every time someone would kiss on TV, Randy would stare right at me. Like, watching television, you'd turn and there's a soap opera and they're kissing, and Randy would look right at me because he knew I liked to watch people kissing.
Right.
I used to get so embarrassed, but I'd still sit there and watch.
Did your parents kiss much? Did you watch them?
No, I don't think I've ever seen my parents kiss.
Wow.
Isn't it a mess? Look at this.
It's all your fault. I'm not.
Look at there's ice on the window. I can't get that on.
Because at first I thought they were like, oh, she's in LA. So I'm like, okay, that's nice. You know, go to LA.
I know, right?
Like Minneapolis.
It's not that bad though right now.
So then what's dating like? I mean, are you dating a lot of different people? Or are you trying to like keep the numbers down? You know, so what's
There's not really that much time. I mean, I do it, but there's not really that much, especially right now. A lot of different people. Yeah, just different people. There's no person in particular. Just enjoying myself like a teenager would, actually. I mean, I feel so silly in saying that in so many ways, only because here I am about, 34? And you would have thought I would have gone through this whole phase by now, which, I mean, the average person my friends are teaching me to, you know, I'll get off the phone with a guy and then I'll call up a friend and say, okay, such and such and such and such said this. And they're like, Jan, oh, and you don't think that he's asking? I said, well, you know, I don't want to just assume like he's trying to tell me that he wants,
Right.
you know, I'd rather for him to just be upfront about it instead of beating around the bush. And they said, please, I mean, how many hints do you need?
Right.
But I don't want to sit there with egg on my face, look like a fool. So I'm not the greatest at getting the hints unless they just say it straight out, straightforward. But I'm enjoying myself.
Okay, describe to me the last date you went on. Just like how it went down. What's like a Janet date?
A Janet date?
Yeah, describe the last one you went on. I want to know what the last date you went on. Not tell me who, but just tell me what's the last. How did it go down?
I went to dinner. It was nice. I went to dinner. Went back to my place and we talked. And that was it.
How did you end the date? Like, because you know, like, you're on a date, okay. I'm serious. Bob. Okay, you're at a date, you're at dinner, and you decide, okay, I like this person enough for them to go back to my place, but I'm not sure what's going to go down yet, right? So then it's like, what's going through your mind? Like, how do you make that decision about each stage of the date? Is it going to go from A to B? Is it going to go to A, from B to C, or is it going to go from like C, from C to D? You know, how do you make those decisions?
Well, I feel like I really have to get to truly know the person a little bit. It's not like I'm so embarrassed talking about this. I truly am. I don't know what you call it. I really have to get to know the person before anything else is to really happen. But sometimes you just kind of, I guess, can't help yourself, I suppose. And things just happen. You know, you get caught up in the moment. Things happen, which aren't so bad as long as you know what it really is.
Right.
And as long as you're on the same understanding that that's all that it truly is.
Sex.
Basically, yeah.
You can say it.
Yeah.
Then that's cool.
Then that's okay. But I'm not. You're really making me embarrassed, Kevin.
How am I making you embarrassed?
You are.
Well, okay, well, let me say this. You spent a lot of your career, okay, talking about sex, but talking about it really in terms of, like, sort of sex is getting to know somebody else, sex is intimacy and everything like that. And I mean, a lot of the sex that you talk about is really sort of that sex that you have with somebody that you've been with for a long time, sort of when you're getting to layers of intimacy, and it's about really connecting and going deeper and deeper, like how close can we get? So does your conception of sex become different when you're with somebody that you really may not have had that long a relationship with, or may not have that long a relationship with after that? You know what I mean? Like, is the sex different? Or how is it different?
Yeah, for myself it is different. It definitely is different. See, Craig, you're going to give me so much trouble.
I'm not going to get you in trouble, Janet. Your lyrics, wait a minute. Your
I'll
lyrics.
tell you what, you give me in trouble. You're talking about my lyrics, right? Well, see, now you understand. When you talk about intimacy and in the way that I talk about having sex, it's like as if I had been with someone for a very long time.
Exactly, which you were at the time when you were writing.
Exactly, and being married, all those
right.
shit. But it is different. I mean, it's never the same as when you first are with someone for the first time. Even if it's someone that you wind up eventually having a long-term relationship with, it still becomes different. You may be intimate, but it's not to the same levels as it, and that's the part I absolutely love when if there's a newness. That's what I'm looking for. That I absolutely love. That is very sexy within itself. There's a little bit of awkwardness in that I think is very sexy. It isn't the same. And there's something that's kind of nice about that. But after a while, at some point, you want someone to call yours. I'm not to that point yet, though. Are you hot?
Yes,
Are you...
I'm like burning up.
Okay.
I know the
'Cause
topic.
I can sit here and just keep the heat. Yeah, but I'm not at that point because I feel like I've been in relationships all my life, really. So, like I said, I'm having fun. I'm being safe, but I'm having a good time.
I mean, you of course, you talk and, about AIDS and stuff like that so much in your music and giving to charities and what have you. I mean, do you think about that more, like being out there and having sex and being single and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah, you do. Of course you do. But I should say, of course I do. But you just have to do the best you can. Be very careful, or become celibate, I suppose, really. And I don't think I could ever do that.
But be celibate?
I just didn't.
What would you have to think about?
I know, right? But I enjoy it too much, really, to do something like that. That's just me.
Right.
That's just me. And so I'm careful, very careful.
Well, like, okay, I used to be, I was in a relationship with this guy for like 8 years, okay, when I was very young. I started when I was like 20-something. And at around that time, and part of that, I used to go around and teach people safer sex and stuff, and I was always like, oh, use a condom every time, do all this, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And it was very easy for me to say that because at the time, I was in a long-term relationship, and, different things happen when you're with somebody for long-term and you're kind of have a certain degree of trust,
Right.
When we broke up, and I started having to go out there and like test intimacy and doing things with different people, I found that message got a lot harder for me to say, or like I could understand why, like a lot of people, it was just a much more difficult message. I mean, do you see that at all? And do you see that like?
I mean, trust becomes a major factor. I mean, that becomes a major factor, period. And I'm sure you found that out as well when you got out there in the world. And not to say that you were with everybody that you had a date with. I mean, no, it's true, though. But at the same time, it's like those things go through your head. They really do. I mean, a lot of things go through your head. But if that were the case, then I'd probably never date. I'd probably never be with anyone else again. If I let that control my life, you can't. And not to keep repeating myself, but to try to be as safe as I possibly can, and obviously not be with every Tom, Dick, and Harry that you go out with, but you enjoy yourself and you try to be as wise as possible.
So, I mean, like, do you feel that dating at this point is in some ways better because maybe you know yourself more, so you're less likely to, I don't know, maybe do some of the stupid things that people do?
Or when you're younger?
Yeah,
I mean, I think you pretty much know right off the bat the feeling that you get from being on your date. It's like, oh God, everything's about me, speaking of the other person, and you're just kind of tired of hearing it. And there's nothing really other than to talk about their body or working out or this or that, or as opposed to having a profound conversation.
Right.
So, knowing more about yourself being older and going through certain things, experiencing certain things in your life, I get a feel for it, a sense for it.
Do you have a clear sense of how much you're willing to sacrifice not to be alone? No?
That's a good question. How much I'm willing to sacrifice?
Or not willing to sacrifice. Like, I mean, because none of us want to be alone, right? But it's like there are different things that we're willing to sacrifice or give up in order to not be alone, in order to be with somebody. Whether or not it's you're putting up with somebody's bad habits, you're putting up with that. And it's like, where's your line? Where won't you go in order to have somebody kind of in your life?
Well, I think that comes with any relationship, and that's just a part of love, really. Because everyone has their what do they call them? Their little, what's the word?
Idiosyncrasy.
Yes, that's it, exactly. Idiosyncrasies. And when you love someone, you will put up with those things, and to realize that you cannot change that person, and are you willing to be with that person, whether they are willing to change or not, because that is what makes them who they are. That comes with love.
But isn't there a line? Like, isn't there a line where it's like...
Yeah, if someone constantly picks their butt and sniffs it, can I deal with that? Can I deal with having just like a fetish? No, that's my life.
But I mean, that's what people that are like in abusive relationships and stuff. I mean, they do think that they're just kind of putting up with a quirk of the person they're with. I mean, at first, that's how they rationalize it. You know what I mean?
There's also part of them that feels that that's their way of showing love, and that if they're not abusive, then they don't feel that they're getting any love from them.
Right. So it's like, how do you know? It's like, how do you ever know whether or not you're sacrificing your own, like, dignity or whatever to be with a person? You know what I mean? Like, how do you...
Now you kind of lost me a little bit.
I mean, it's like, where do you find that line, like, between putting up with somebody because you love them and sort of knowing when that's going too far, that's actually, like, affecting you as a person? You know what I mean? That's not something healthy for you to do.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, I would say when you're having second thoughts, when you feel that it's bringing you down, when you feel that you're stagnant, when you feel that you can't move one way or another, when it's really bothering you in some sort of way, when it's becomes a major issue and it's affecting your work, things like that. For myself, then there's something, because ultimately, as selfish as it sounds, you have to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And I learned that, and in order to be able to take care of someone else and be there for them, you have to be there for yourself. And when things start to get like that, it's unhealthy. It's an unhealthy relationship, and then that's where you have to decide whether you want to continue in this unhealthy relationship or as painful as it may be, and you're still in love with that person, but get out and move on. Well, we're here.
It's already back. So this is where you record?
Yeah. This is flight coming.
All out here.
And that's from
This is where the magic is made.
Be careful, there's some more ice. Thank you.
This is your studio? Is this the one that...
My studio. It smells like my candles.
What kind of smell is that?
My candles. It's Empire Celeste. It's my instant candle number.
Oh, okay.
You mean?
Oh, this is cute. This is where you hang out. Oh my God, Mariah was in your room? What all does she like? Does it bug you when other people work with them? Like, did you work with them and then you feel so earnest?
No, it doesn't bother me at all. Not at all.
That's just so funny though, like, I mean, that, you know, it seems like every time you have a new album coming out, people are like, oh, she's still going to work with them, she needs to get some fresh people and stuff like that, and then you'll always work together, it always comes out hot, and then they keep being hot. You know, now it seems like it's almost like the new producers with their new deal and working with all these people. People are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess people like to see you switch it up, but I'm very comfortable with them. We have a great relationship, and I feel like it's not broken to me.
Right.
And you know, we had decided that with this album we wanted to do something with rock. I wanted to do something with him, and so we did. So Jimmy and myself have not worked on something together, and it's been a great relationship. We've had great success, and I don't. There's something that I'm a true believer in.
It seems like kind of at heart you sort of like long-term relationships. You like, or just relationships. Like, you don't seem to be the type of person that likes, you know, whether it's what we were talking about in the car, or whether or not it's introducer.
No, but you're absolutely right. I do like